been into Kelly Clarkson this week because she sings super crazy hard stuff. And the main problem that I've been having with Kelly Clarkson is that there's nowhere to breathe. And breathing is critical for the kind of stuff that she sings. If you want to sing some Kelly Clarkson tunes, you need to know how to breathe for singing. There's no getting around it. So I'm going to talk today about breathing. So I divide breathing into 3 different things to think about. And some of them may make more sense than others to you, depending on your mind and your body. So first of all, you probably heard about breathing into your belly, and that probably hasn't made any sense to you because there are no lungs in your belly, right? Well, the reason we say that is just a shortcut. It's a shortcut using a few words for a concept that takes more words to communicate. And that concept is, if you are breathing into your belly and imagining that air is coming down into your belly, you are going to let your ab muscles relax so that your belly can expand. The reason we want that is because underneath your lungs is your diaphragm, a dome-shaped muscle that needs to flatten out in order for you to take a proper inhale for singing. So if you think about breathing into your belly, what you're really doing is allowing the organs underneath your diaphragm to get out of the way so that your lungs can properly inflate from the bottom. I'm going to just say that one more time in a different way, just a completely different way of describing the same thing. All right, we'll start with the diaphragm. First of all, it's a dome-shaped muscle under your lungs. And when you take a proper breath for singing, it flattens out. But what's underneath that diaphragm? You have various organs, right? You have your guts, you have your digestive system, you have all kinds of stuff in your belly that if the diaphragm is going to come down and flatten out, those things need to get out of the way and go somewhere. And the place that they're going to go is just, you're going to let them all kind of readjust outward. As if you just ate a big Thanksgiving dinner and you're not worried about holding it in, just let that belly hang. That's why we talk about breathing into the belly. It's really not an inhale into the belly, it's more just relaxing your abs. So one way you can practice this is by actually practicing a total forced exhale and then relax your abs and see what happens. What I mean by that is, have you ever tried to sink yourself down to the bottom of the swimming pool? I used to do that when I was a kid. I grew up in Phoenix and was in the pool a lot. I want you to do that. Exhale all of your air, squeeze it all out, all out. All of it, all of it, all of it. Push and squeeze it all out. And then just relax. Just relax the muscles that you've been squeezing to squeeze that air out with. And you will get an inhale. It will just happen. You don't have to think about it. Just let that belly flop, relaxed, and your lungs will do, and your diaphragm will do what they need to do to take an inhale. The second thing I like to talk about is breathing into your sides. And that, again, is shorthand for something that is a little longer to describe. And you've probably come across this one too. These are no big secrets. This one is about expanding your rib cage sideways. You might be able to just do that if you put your hands on your sides. And I'm actually going to take off my scarf so you can see a little better. Put your hands on your sides and just push your hands out sideways. So if you can do that, great. If you can't do that, then you can get to it by straightening your arms straight overhead. Straight overhead. Make sure your elbows are not bent. Straight arms. And feel your rib cage lift on both sides. Then bring your arms down, but leave your rib cage up where it was. And then relax. That's just to get you that feeling of what it means to expand your rib cage. The reason we want that is, first of all, actually there's a lot of benefits to that way of inhaling for singing. First of all, you are creating a bigger space to put your air in. Your lungs are inside your rib cage, so your lungs can expand only as wide as your rib cage allows. Yes, they can expand down past your rib cage, but if you literally lift the cage that your lungs are in, they have more room to expand, and in fact they have to expand. They will just expand with your rib cage. And you can feel that and hear it if you just expand that rib cage. I could feel air going in and out of my mouth even though I wasn't doing anything with my belly or my back to actually inhale. I was just creating a vacuum and then squeezing out that air. Not squeezing out, but letting it relax down. The second reason that that is a great breathing technique is it gives you a reserve tank of air. So, you inhale, you start singing, you're getting near the end, blah, 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 holding a long note, really long phrase, blah, 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 blah. Skip some time. And if you're getting near the bottom of your breath, there's still a little left if you let your ribcage down. So in this school of thought, if this is what you're going to focus on, the ribcage lift, you want to keep that ribcage lifted as long as you can while you are singing, and then let it go only if you need that reserve bit of air because it's a very long phrase, or between phrases so you can relax. Now, the third part of breathing that I like to describe is breathing into your back. So your lungs actually come down farther along your back than they do along your chest. There's a lot of lung that's going to expand this area of your back if you let it. So to just feel that, I'd like you to put your hands on both sides of your spine, with your fingers spread a little bit. You can let yourself bend forward just a little so that you're not completely straight up. Bend forward just a little and then breathe into your hands. And you should be able to feel your fingers separate away from each other just a little bit. That's just an awareness for you to know that breathing behind you is totally a valid part of getting a full breath for singing. So that is a lot to think about. You're never going to remember all of that in between a phrase, in between a little quick line. So play with each of them separately and see which ones start making sense for you. But then we can unify that whole concept with the concept of a balloon. So when you blow up a balloon, it doesn't just expand in one way, right? It expands in 360 degrees. It expands all the way around. And so that's a shortcut way of thinking for me to bring in all my air and let all of this space, my belly relax, my rib cage expand, and my back fill with air as well, all in one concept. Okay, that is the way I unify those three slightly complicated concepts. Then one more piece of advice for you. If you aren't quite getting that, it doesn't make sense or whatever, I would say try this little trick. Think about breathing below and behind you. And I'm talking about like behind your kidneys, way back here. That's kind of strange, but just try it. It will tend to pull your air down where it needs to be. Now I'm going to do a quick little demonstration to show you the results of how breathing correctly can really affect the sound that you get out of your voice. This is a new song for me. I just started working on this half an hour ago. It's a Kelly Clarkson tune called Dark Side. You'll notice that when I sing with proper breath support, there's going to be a more round and open tone in my voice. It's going to feel less strident and it's going to feel a lot less pinched because I have support that allows the muscles of my throat to open and relax, even though it's still pop belting. And then you'll notice when I sing with incorrect breath support, it's just going to get tight and nasty real quick. All right, let's see. Everybody's got a dark side. Do you love me? Can you love mine? Nobody's a picture perfect, but we're worth it. You know that we're worth it. All right, now I'm going to try one with no proper breath support. I'm going to purposely pretend I'm nervous and not breathing. Here we go. Everybody's got a dark side. Do you love me? Can you love mine? Nobody's a picture perfect, but we're worth it. You know that we're worth it. Ooh, that was pitchy too. It was hard to do. So you can see just launching into the beginning of each of those lines, starting with that high D flat, there's no support. And so that compression for that pop belting on that note is coming from squeezing my throat. And that's going to drag you into a more chest dominated mix. It's going to drag you into an unhealthy type of singing. Whereas again, if you sing with proper breath support and you feel like you're opening your breathing, the breathing part of your body from the back to the side to the front, you're going to feel like you can open up your throat more too. So I'd like to ask you guys what you would like to learn from me. Let me know if you have a song you'd like me to dissect or a particular part of a song that's challenging. I love doing that kind of thing. Or if there's something real basic and universal that you'd like to know about singing. So let me know what you'd like. Please subscribe to this channel, like it, share it, and I will see you next week.